Hey folks, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's involved with making a YouTube video. Now you can do it with your phone turned like this. You can do it a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different softwares out there, but this is how I do it. Doesn't mean that it's right. Just means that this is what works for me. Now, I'm not going to take you through step by step. It'd be way too long. I'm just going to give you a quick, and I mean quick, overview of what is involved with making a video. So many of my friends and people on YouTube say, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel, and I would suggest do it. But if you're going to do it right. And there are some things that you should probably do if you're going to take that big leap to making YouTube videos and being a creator. So first of all, again, this doesn't mean it's the right way. This is just how Double G Diggs does it. And I have changed slowly over the 5 years and adapted some things. I didn't start out with all the tools that I have today. So take a look here. This is only if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel. Don't waste your time watching this if you're not, because you'll be bored to death. So if you are interested or you want to know what all goes into a video, check out this. So the first thing, you got to have a program to edit your video. I use Final Cut. There's a lot of different good ones out there. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just something to edit the video. Then I use Canva. Canva is a program to help me create different graphics, the text. It's a great program, and you need a microphone just like this. I'm using this microphone right here for the voiceover. You'll need that as well. Then you're going to need something for your music. You can use the free YouTube library, or in this case I use Artlist, and I don't have to worry about any copyright issues. Got a huge selection of music. So guys, again, I want to show you some of the things you have to do on a video. There are so many adjustments, little things you need to do, and this is just one of them right here. So metal detecting in the mulch. I may want to give you a little tighter look, a close-up, so you have to stretch that video to fit the screen. And that's just one of, I'm telling you, hundreds and hundreds of little adjustments you can make when you're doing a video if you want it to be presented in a professional manner. So then after you do that, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I like to add a title in there to let you know what I just found. So you have to go up to the title bar and pick you a title, and man, there's so many choices you can pick from. Sometimes I'll go with something simple, and it just makes it a little easier for you guys to read it. Sometimes I want something a little fancier to make a little pizzazz in the video, but in this case, just going to do something really basic. But again, that's another step that's just eating away at the time that it takes to do one of these videos. In this case, I'll put a dime 1979, and it doesn't seem like much, but it's just another step, guys. I'm telling you, there's so much to do in a video. Not everybody, but some people will do this, and I always like to add, a little sound effect. Just makes my video stand out a little better. So I'll sometimes add a little cash register sound, but you've got to go up, find that, stick it in the video, get it in the right place, adjust the volume, and then you have your little fancy sound effect. Next thing I do, I'm scrubbing through the video. That's what you call scrubbing. You're just looking, because not all the good shots are laid out. You've got to look through everything that you recorded and then find something that is of interest that you want to convey to the viewer. So right here, I found a little baby toy shark, and I thought that was kind of cool. And so now what you got to do is you got to drop that video down in your timeline, and then you got to go out and cut out the dead spot, which I'm doing right there. It's gone. And now you're going to add a transition in there. You want to transition from one scene to the other. I know this is a lot, but I'm just giving you the idea. There's so much in a video. You just have no idea. All that just to show this little toy shark. You know, I can't even remember the reference that I made it to in this video, but I wanted to show you the different little steps just to get this little guy in there. Now I've got a separate program that I can create some graphics in called Canva. I'll show you that in just a minute, but let's say I want you to see what the VDI number, the target ID number is. Well, I create that in Canva. I have to create it, and then I drag it into this, so that's another 3 or 4 minutes, and you have to adjust the size. So that target ID was 87 with the XP Deus, and then I'll add a little sidebar title. I know, guys, this is just my neurotic way of doing the videos, a little crazy. Sometimes it's overboard, but I think in the end, the viewer appreciates all these little special items that I add in there. So 87 target ID. So when you play that back, it looks kind of cool. And again, it's just a special touch that I add to the video. Yeah, let me show you another title just to give you an idea. This is a bottle top with a piece of broken glass. So I got to go up and find a title. I think a nice rotating 360 would look good. So I'm going to dig that out of the file. I know where it's at because I've used it numerous times. And I'm going to stick it up in there, and I'm going to think a minute about what color would I like to do that. I just don't think the white is standing out too good here. So I'm going to type in jagged edge for my title, and then you've got to decide where you want it at within the frame of that photo. You go down, and then I end up picking a color for it. I think the green would be nice. And then I want to play it back and kind of preview it to see, is this what I want? Yeah, I think that looks kind of cool right there. Now imagine doing that numerous times throughout a short video. A lot of times when I record, it does it in reverse. I haven't figured out why, but I've got to go in there and change it. Notice my hat, it's backwards. So I've got to go in there, find a program to fix that, and it's called Flip. I just drag it over it and it will automatically fix it. But again, that's another step I've got to do. Then I've got to take that title, because now it's in the wrong place. It's right over my head. Move it over to the right and adjust it. This is telling you that I'm at a second location that I was metal detecting. Play it back, check it out, and then off to the next clip. Here's that program I use. It's a yearly subscription. I'm going to work on a project here, so let me show you. So there's a token that I found, and I want to remove the background, so I have to drop it into Canva. I have to import it, would be the correct terminology. Got to rotate it, figure out what angle I want to use on it. That looks like would be correct. And then there's a background removal program. As you can see, it's all removed, the background. So then looks like I'll probably try to pick a new background color. And all this, guys, I know I'm going at warp speed. I don't expect you to learn this. I'm just giving you an idea of what I have to do. I'll add in a new background, which is that lime green. Then I'm going to resize this, make it a lot bigger so you can see it. Move it around, figure out how I want to get it spaced out, and then add a title. So I didn't like that lime green. It just kind of clashed, so don't feel like you got to stick with it. I switched to a little darker color. I think that'll look best. Then I'm going to add the title and then export it. And now it's going to go back into the program, but let me show you what the finished product looks like here. This is says 10, I think is what I'm trying to convey here. I see the word 10 at the bottom of that coin. And I'll probably add a voiceover on this as well on the finished product, so you can understand what I'm doing. But all this, just guys, what I'm trying to tell you, it's so much time. You got to change the color, the font, decide what you want to do. Then again, you're going to export this when you're done, and it ends up in your final product. So once I get it exported, I'm going to drop it back into my timeline. Then I've got to adjust the timing of it to make sure I've got the right amount. I don't know, 5-10 minutes. depending on what I'm going to say on the voiceover. But you can see I've dropped it back in there, and there it is right there. All that just for that one little, say, 5-second graphic. Takes a lot of time. Now, I'm still trying to draw your attention to that word 10 in the coin, and one way that I can do that is by creating an arrow. So I've got go back to Canva, add that arrow there, download it, and bring it back into the project, resize it, and draw your attention to that word 10. Let me show you. Popped it back in. There's that red arrow. I'm going to put it above my timeline. That way I can adjust it, resize it, and point to that text in the coin that says 10. All this just to get a little message across right there. Now the viewer can see what I'm talking about. Then they have the text below the coin to follow it up. I'm going to adjust the timing for the red arrow. Blah, 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 blah. There's just so much to do. I think you get the idea. Right there is the final results of that little, say, 6-second clip. All right, guys, this is pretty advanced right here, but I just want to give you a quick idea. I'm going to cut an audio clip out. Bottom left, you're going to see right there where I cut the timeline. And that little thing that I'm dragging around right there on the bottom, that's an audio bite. And it may be me just saying something that has got to do with that particular dig, but all that other in front of it is just dead space. It's just way too much time to drag on. And so a lot of times you can cut a sound bite, drag it and reposition it, and your video is still the same. You're still finding that object, but right there I reposition that little sound bite, and it just makes that clip so much more shorter, because again, you want to keep your videos, I try to keep them under 10 minutes. Sometimes I creep up to 12, 13. The next one up is adding B-roll. A lot of people don't think about that, but it does take a lot of time. You got to stop metal detecting and get those transition shots, like maybe shaking your sand scoop or the coil. These are all the little pieces that you add in between some of your transitions. Takes the viewer a little bit more into the scene. A lot of times I like to focus on the moss on a tree or some shrubs and go from one to the other scene, but they enjoy seeing that with a little music. Adds so much more to the video. Here's a perfect example of showing the mud on your boots from a downpour. Well, that's it, guys. Here's the video I just made, all the different edits and cuts so you can get an idea of what it looks like. I say go for it. If you want to start a YouTube channel, start out simple and then slowly progress with some different edits, cuts, software, and YouTube will be a YouTube creator. Have fun. Thanks for watching.